I'm glad that women have come out and spoken about it. There's a thorough investigation which needs to be done, because I believe that people who have been accused or the allegations have been charged against those, they also need to prove their side, of the story, because a coin always has two sides. I completely stand with the women who have been through this very, very heart gut-wrenching ordeal, but we need to need both the sides. So I have been discussing this since the HEMA commission reports have come out, and I have been saying the same thing, that whatever the circumstances may be, a woman always has a choice to say no. But when we talk about exploitation, looking at the necessity of the girl, her vulnerability, looking at the kind of situation she is in, or you misusing your power of being in a superior position, literally intimidating the actor who's a stark newcomer, or who's probably not in the same league as you, or threatening them, saying that they may not find work if they do not compromise in a chest. I think those are the issues we need to really, really adhere to and look into it.
What about the government stand in this, where expectation from other state governments to, like Kerala, to form a committee like this, or to make sure that the voiceless get voice to the government?
It comes a little too late, right? This commission has been lying with the government for the last 5 years. Why is that it took 5 years for the LDF government to come out and release the reports now? So for 5 years you have been sleeping over it. So why is it you release it now? You should have done it. If you're so concerned about the women in your state, you should have released the report immediately. And now they say that almost 50 to 60 pages are omitted from this. The main names are omitted from this. So we do not know what those 50, 60 pages which were deleted before the reports were released, what did that have? So we are absolutely clueless. But my question to the government of Kerala would be, why were you sleeping over this report for the last 5 years? So that is definitely a very, very valid question which the government needs to answer.
Over other states to make sure that such companies.
See, it's not only in cinema. Like you just said that, every industry, every day a woman is subjected to this kind of an abuse. Whether it's exploitation, whether it is men brush against women and say, oh, I'm sorry, it was accidental. You need to address this then and there itself. Now what you say that in Trichy the girls have started protesting because one of the students was subjected to this kind of an abuse. So I think everywhere it happens, every department, everywhere a woman is working or she is out on a public platform, whether it's politics or any other field, a woman is subjected to this kind of a sexual abuse. And I think this is where we need to stand together and say that we are not going to take it anymore. This needs to stop. I'm glad that HEMA Commission report has come out, because it's going to, if this happens in the film industry, I haven't experienced it except for one experience, but then I had the courage to say no. And if there are others who are subjected to this, even in today's times, which I doubt, but if they are subjected to this kind of threat or abuse in today's times, I think women have to learn to stand up and say no for themselves, because this is not the solution to a problem. This is not going to solve the problem, or this is not going to, probably for time being, it might help you, but in the long run, it doesn't. And, it will send a message across to men who have been taking an advantage of a woman's silence over this abuse over the years. It will send a message very clearly to these men that you have to pay for your deeds here. The karma is going to come back, whether 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Today, Harry Weinstein is, cooling his heels in a jail there in Hollywood. It took 20 years for women to come up and say that, yes, Harry Weinstein. But again, Harry Weinstein was not the only one who abused women or exploited the women folk. What about the other men? So even the Me Too movement, which started in such a big way in Hollywood, is biting the dust. Nobody's talking about it today. So today we are talking about Kerala, today we are talking about the HEMA committee. tomorrow we'll forget about it. There'll something else come up and we'll talk about it. And 10 years later, if somebody comes up with these allegations, and again we'll remove this Hema Commission report and start talking again. So I think we need to address the problems then and there, and rather than wait for 10, 15 years.
Particularly after the Sena committee, all those things have come up. Now the second FIR has been filed against actor Jay Surya, and still there are silence. And what do you think about this second FIR?
See, I don't know. I don't know whether this even amounts to file FIR. You can file FIR, you have the democracy, but how long the case would go? Because the first thing when you're filing FIR, when the cases come up, they always ask for what is the proof. So this is only verbal, okay? And that's why I said you need to have both the sides. And I always give an example that even terrorists in our country are given a fair trial. Okay, for months together we were feeding Kasab in a jail, and then we finally decided that no, this man needs to be hanged. But even a terrorist like Kasab, who was caught on camera mercilessly killing hundreds of innocent people, he was given a fair chance in the jail, okay, in the court, in the eyes of the law, in the house of justice. Okay, you put your case across and try to prove yourself innocent. So, these are human beings who I have worked with, many of my colleagues have worked with. So you give a fair chance to them also to prove their point.